Hi folks, welcome again to the Thrones World Cup. We are going to show you a game from round 2 of this tournament, so I'm recording commentary quite a bit later. I've decided, since we didn't manage to stream or record a lot of Slovenia's games, well, I recorded a lot of them but not with commentary, that maybe I can show you at least the two most interesting games I played in this tournament. The Knightswatch game will be from one of the later rounds, but Bara game is from round 2. I think is the most interesting one I played, and it's the game against Spain. And I can show you what deck we had in this tournament for Baratheon. So it's trading with Qohor, and you will have seen this before, I think, mostly this set of cards. Sarah has been playing this and I've been playing it for quite some time with minor changes. I think we got the plots pretty well here. We were expecting a lot of shadows in this tournament, and I'm not disappointed that we went with this plot line that basically stops. So we have one barring and one supporting, which is great against shadows. Then we have also the Smith, which needs locations like the Lenny Heron Hall or Womb of the World, so locations that help with jumping. And of course King in the North is deals with that strategy pretty well. Plus Mad King's Command, if it's really heavy shadows, can help, although that's usually, I mean, you can get aggroed a bit on Mad King's Command if you play against decks that can jump stuff after you've already basically reduced your board to 3 characters, so they can outnumber you a little bit, so that's not always that safe. And then we have Air, of course, as on one hand protection from Morgulis, on the other hand just trading one of the little ones, for instance with Robin for Robert, who is quite important here, and of course the Maiden for initiative. So I say Robert is important, we have core Robert. For a long time I played the 6 cost 1 because he can get something like 4 power per round with his ability, so things go really fast. Once you get the dominant position you can really close quickly, but you could play Warhammer with that Robert, of course, to get Intimidate, and you had that on Robert or Stannis. But now Warhammer is spotted with Zora High Reborn, so kind of this guy that has printed Intimidate was the most important character now to include, basically, for that same kind of challenge phase control. And the other big here is 3 copies of Beric, because we figured his ability kind of does something similar. You can lock something in challenges as if you had intimidated it, and it was really in testing a tough call between 3 copies of Beric or 3 copies of Stannis. So in the end I went with 1 Stannis, and I don't know, I think maybe Stannis was even slightly better, so could have gone the other way. And I think the deck that Sarah played afterwards in Online Worlds, which was played after this World Cup decks were submitted, did include 3 Stannises instead of 3 Berics. What else? The rest is lore characters for support and some lords to trade, right, and ladies for air, and nothing that special with attachments, except perhaps that we have this attempt to play Laughing Storm here. So there's 3 Azora Highs and 1 Seal of the Hand and 1 Laughing Storm, which can trade for one another. It's a 3 cost attachment, and it needs to go somewhere, and that's the biggest problem here. So 3 Stone Drum. There are some kingdoms and the opponent can have a kingdom, but it's not something you can count on, so it's basically there to hold the Laughing Storm, which can be pretty nice as another Intimidate. You're not that worried about the hand as you would be in some other decks where the Laughing Storm is played, but just going first and using it is pretty nice. And of course you can trade it in that same challenge afterwards for a Seal or Azora High, which is also pretty nice, or something smaller. I mean, works fine to trade it for Lightbringer also. And yes, the game we are going to show here is against this Spanish Knights of the Hollow Hill deck. It's quite a close copy of the deck Mates played at Stalek. I think it has an extra Lesser Scouts, which in this matchup is not going to help because I'm not gonna jump one bit, but it is an aggro deck. You see all the Ramses and Bolton Flyers here, and Roose Bolton, which can be tricky if there's gold left over for the loyal Bara bigs, and the no save area is the biggest problem because you can search for bodyguards, but if she's in play, I mean, reset just kills everything, and then you kind of have to also make sure that she's always milked. And yes, claim race, so and Harrenhal is really tough to deal with because the Smith kneeling it doesn't help because it doesn't need to kneel for its effect, so you kind of have to play King in the North as soon as that this location is in play to even get around it, and then it needs seized, which is tricky, or you need to somehow bait it out, of course. And then Ward, yeah, if that goes on Cilici, it's not that fun. Doesn't have that many other targets, but I mean, just taking a character and then aggroing whatever you have left is not that fun. Mad King's Command on this side as well, but more importantly, 2 marches, basically 1 normal and 1 this Hour of the Wolf, which you have to kind of play around, plus Morgulis and of course the 2 claimers. So in testing, I won some, I lost some, so I wasn't quite sure. I knew the game could go either way. So with all of that said, let's have a look now at how it went on the day. Yeah, so no really impactful characters in the opening hand, but it's not the worst setup. You can set up 3 characters, which means you're not really exposed to those marches, plus an econ card. Then if Rabs wants to go first, of course he will get 1 extra gold because there's no attachment. And drawing into Cilici Stannis combination is pretty nice. There won't be gold to play both of them though. Yeah, I don't mind going second. There could be power to take. Just can't really afford myself to get aggroed here. And Sweet Robin means there is maybe a chance to play air. Yeah. Sometimes when you win initiative, we've had this in other, well, in testing for sure, and I've played against this sort of thing quite a few times, even with Lenny Alliance, which also wants to play the bigs and also has access to seized. You go second because you want to take power, and yeah, then Harrenhal comes in and you may be stuck. But now it's a pretty unique situation that I have seized in the opening hand, but I mean, you don't just want to play that and then lose it, right? Because Harrenhal will just come back. You have to bestow a little bit, and what else is getting marshaled, and nothing that great, I think. But yeah, taking Alistair before playing Bear Island Scout was a little bit of a misplay there. He doesn't get the affiliation and it fizzles Bear Island Scout. It rarely comes up really because Stark players tend to build with Stark characters only these days for this kind of thing, and of course for the old gate. So the reason I'm thinking here is because I'm a little bit stuck. I can't marshal anything right now because it would die. I have to count how much gold is going on that seized, unless I can try to play a random character and see if Harrenhal gets used, but yeah. far-fetched. I've decided what exactly. Yeah, it's a bit weak, right? It will stay for the next round as well, and then it falls off. Ah, giving him Alistair draw. So Silisi can for free put in Red God's Blessing, and then I have gold for one more character. Sweet Robin and then Air seems like a decent deal. No military icon though. But no gold for Winter is Coming, so whatever happens, not going to be a disaster here. Just briefly counting how it works out for Stannis. If I need to keep the reducer, but it's never great. Now does Silisi need to take a bodyguard? Is the question. Then one bodyguard's in hand, so if I air Sweet Robin into something bigger, that can also get a bodyguard. There's no Harris, so that would be pretty decent. If I air him into... Actually, I only have one Stannis. Yeah, that's not so good now, right? Because there's one in hand, so if I could grab Stannis and then dupe him from hand, that would be pretty nice, but yeah, he's one copy in the deck. So do we play air or do we play supporting the fate and just pay for Stannis with a bodyguard? And save the air for later. Problem is though, right, if we do that, then Harrenhal will be back online for air, so it's now or never, I think. Yeah. Here's where I realized that kind of underbestowed that. Kind of stuck with it now. Have to air here. I mean, it was the problem was bestowing more meant one fewer character, and look, we're already getting marched, so yeah. Not what I was looking for. Can dupe Celis and then Sweet Robin stays in play. Dupes are pretty good though against Morgulis. Of course, if Arya's there, they become useless, and if a character is exposed to Ramsay, also it's not fun. So whatever intends to stay needs to come in here before Harrenhal can be triggered. So have one more chance with King in the North to get around Harrenhal. Then I'm not going to be able to marshal that Melisandre or whatever that is worth killing for Stark here. Yeah, and in testing I found that the Iron Bank being in play early is annoying because Stark can play you winner you die and play out everything if it gets a bit of gold. Well, Dupe on Celici now is not looking so good, so have a milk in hand. Krenogman is an extra kill, and of course Arya is something that absolutely needs to be controlled. I think King's Road will have to just be spent to get that Melisandre in, right? And then 2 attachments. Oof, but also there's military claim. So do we actually play Melisandre, the Chad and Milk? Bit sad that there's no attachment for Celici. Can deal Krenogman. The Chad and bodyguard on Melisandre? No? Okay, milking her. Now Melisandre is exposed, but Celici survives. Nothing we can do. Now Dupe or Sweet Robin. So Hour of the Wolf is behind us. But Morgul is still very much a thing. Yeah, what's more important here, keeping the dupe or keeping the attachment? Attachment is of course tradable. But then I have king in the north plans, right? Small hand, so I think should defend this. I'm just planning the rest of my round here in my head, so I think Celici can defend, or okay, Melisandre defends. Because I figured Celici was duped and she's better with disputed claim. I have to trade seized because it falls off. So can't trade for a bodyguard because the last remaining copy is in hand. And this one I can leave. Then win 2 challenges unopposed and dominance, right? So that's not a bad deal. I think we have to do this to get 1 power for unopposed, and then on the power challenge disputed claim is turned on. I can just trade it here or on the next challenge, it's the same thing I think. up to 7 power. So we're getting there. And now I think we have to play king in the north because of that Herrenhal. And the gold situation on king in the north would be... the stone drum does work on king in the north, it's a kingdom, so I would get 7 gold, so enough for Stannis. But not for Stannis and bodyguard, so that's a bit sad. Could get Stannis with a lore attachment if I'm lucky, though. Would be a decent top deck, something that Silisi can reduce. Arya might get marched to be replayed here. There is a time for wolves, right? So Summer can grab Arya from the discard pile. Takes 2 more plots though to do that, and then Morghulis with her in play again. And I think, yes, with Robin has served his purpose. Oh, okay, choices. Well, Beric can be duped and Robert can be duped. But since they can't come in with bodyguard, and I can't trade for another bodyguard because unfortunately it's in hand, that's a little bit sad now. I needed 1 more gold, so... It's rough because if I get Morghulis after this, then I have those 2 bigs that just get killed by Harrenhal. I think I have to marshal a 7-coster bodyguard and seal of the hand on Melisandre. Seal of the hand maybe on Silisi because she has disputed claim is not the best deal. Because I also get military claim. So I don't know why Stannis. I mean, he's a king that will draw if he wins a challenge. It's not going to intimidate though. Maybe I figured that if he gets killed, then the other 2 are still alive and they have more copies in the deck. But how am I getting past Harrenhal? Caitlyn is stops 1 Qohor trigger on 1 challenge, which is not fun. Needed 1 more gold when I was bestowing on Harrenhal. I could have played supporting the Fate here. Or actually, is that enough? Is that a kingdom? I don't remember. To get Stone Drum bonus, you might. And then if I could play Robert with bodyguard, then it's really difficult for my opponent to survive. But wasn't to be so. Can't stand Stannis if he does a challenge. But also can't protect if all 3 attack on the military. So maybe start with something else, see if one of the military icons kneels. Also, winning power could be pretty important because Stannis draws from that. But if Caitlyn is in that challenge, then that of course does not happen. could also just do all the challenges. I am on 7 and I have renown on Cilici, so they will at some point have to defend, otherwise power goes up, and most of it on my faction card. 3 gold left is awkward. That means could be winter is coming here. So let's try to get it out of the hand. Yeah, and the military icon does kneel, so now I'm thinking I won't spend Stannis here. Probably just keep that renown. Yeah, no more bodyguards. Trying to convince myself that there is one, but no. Yeah, this wins unless they all defend, and then Stannis will win military, which is not the worst thing. It will be unopposed as well. And Caitlyn doesn't stop it. It's a Chud, which is nice. I would say let's keep the renown. I could get Winter is Coming on the power challenge if Caitlyn does it. Well, she does Intrigue, which means Stannis will defend the other one. Ah, okay, Winter is Coming on the Intrigue challenge. Seal was a pretty good attachment here. Robert was not playable into Harrenhal. And this will, of course, get dominance for Rabs, so makes sense. 9-3, but Morgulis now means what? 5 gold plus 2 on the Iron Bank against the surviving Cilici. And prize given away for Alistair, right? So I'd be on 11, I think. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's the best situation. So maybe I can try to get a dupe for Melisandre. I mean, I can for sure play the bodyguard if it's not Morgulis here, so that could help me. Supporting stops any kind of Bolton flares coming in, or Winter is Coming being played, so not too bad. Barring what has stopped Summer coming in. Or is it gonna be Greywind, because Greywind cancels Melisandre kneeling Cranogman. Summer. Yeah, there's that play, getting Arya back. If I had one more gold, I might just play Beric to to get that Harrenhal off the board, but can't now. because bodyguard for sure needs to be played. But sad thing is that I think Renogman. Sad thing is that I don't have a 2-cost attachment, so Seal of the Hand being discarded actually was pretty bad because I now can't trade into Lightbringer, which would of course get Stannis renown and get me somewhere close to victory. Although, I mean, against Caitlyn, maybe not so much. It just goes into the power challenge, right? But he does military, stands on military, then does power and still gets renown. Melisandre or Stannis? Stannis is the potential win condition after a reset, so yeah, I think that's probably the better call, but didn't bait out Harrenhal with the R'hllor Chador Shireen, unfortunately, so yeah. And I need to win a challenge in which Caitlyn is not participating, because Arya needs to be milked if Rabs plays Morghulis when she is there. I have nothing and then can't marshal a character into Harrenhal and the game just goes, I think, away from me. So how are we doing that? Because Stannis is the only military icon. I think we have to do it on the other challenges, so whichever one is not defended by Caitlyn. Stannis doing military also forces 3 defenders to win on defense. I mean, at that point I think you might just leave it. So that could be also a challenge where you can do the agenda trigger. Yeah. Not so easy, 6 characters on both sides. I think, I mean, intrigue with strength 2 means either I can win or Caitlyn is spent, so maybe intrigue with the Acolyte. Okay, power first. Well, that wins for sure if they attack. So I will get power claim and renown. With Selisi or with the other two? I think with Selisi was the better play. Because if Caitlyn defended, I could still get renown and then trade disputed claim on the other challenge. Now I have to get rid of disputed claim here, so I won't get renown for Selisi. We'll get Stannis to trigger again though, right? Yeah. Not the best draw, let's be honest. Yeah, had to do that. Have 2 saves. They're not safe from Ramsey, but they are safe from Morgulis. Now, how good is the hand? Not worth protecting, okay. That's not the worst hit, would have raised claim on Morgulis potentially. And that's it for my challenges. Maybe we can even use Shireen here to kneel Caitlyn, and then I don't suffer intrigue claim. No, I prefer to keep, okay. Slightly suspect decision. Not that I have anything worth defending from hand. I mean, Barrick is getting killed by Harrenhal and Stone Drum's already in play, so I will lose dominance and I will lose the power challenge, so at this point she has to just oppose, I think. I think we eat this and then decisions. Nothing playable, so Econ's weak, but nothing big is getting past Harrenhal anyway, so I think Kingsgate is the play here. Will be 9-7. Without a reset, I can probably find an attachment eventually to put on Stannis and win the game. Melisandre Dup. Will there be time? Just trying to think also what the plots were, to see what the initiative situation is. And it is Morgulis, I have to go first. And I have the 2 saves. Shireen does nothing, she would have been more useful to just trigger the previous round. And unfortunately now I have the Melisandre Dup. And all my attachments are gone, so I can't kneel hard trigger as first action. But actually, I got an attachment that's reducible with Celici, that's pretty nice. I got 2 prized also from Ward, so gets me closer to victory. And I have 2 Chuds. Can they enter play? not bad. I assume he's gonna use the... yeah. I have one attachment for the smith. If some other, if the king's road comes into play or something, so. Not that much gold, 9 to work with. 5 cards in hand. And yeah, 10 to work with because there's also hard to grow. That's not pleasant. And another Ramsey for all the gold. Well, yeah, it cost me the attachment as well. If I sacrifice Stannis here down to 9. The Capsulisi had been 11, but she does unopposed power. I think that's 14 because she no longer has renown and no way to get it, right? Stannis, on the other hand, what's the situation with him? He has to get Lightbringer to get renown, otherwise he can't do much. But so he can do 2 challenges that are unopposed. That's 11. Power claim is 12. He gets renown from Lightbringer. On the 2 challenges, that's 14, and I have 2 gold left over for dominance and gets 0. That should be plenty to just win with Stannis, right? That's playable next round, if there is a next round. Just double checking. No Lightbringers have been spent, so still have that. Yeah, that was the 2 charts from Kingsgate and top deck this round were essential. Otherwise, Ramsey would have cleared the board, and then we are no cards against no cards. But yeah, my opponent presumably plays you win or you die, and the game starts turning around, and there's still 20 minutes left, so it turns around for sure. I have dead characters in hand. Melisandre's dead, Stone Drum's useless. Beric now gold's running out, so might not enter play anymore. So just about made it. So yeah, that was interesting. It's 15-6, but really it was one more removal effect, one less character, one fewer character from my side, and it's a loss. So I couldn't really have been closer in the end. I was waiting for stuff like that Ramsey play, and it was not really coming, but came at the end just a little bit too late. I think I played it pretty well with those milks on Arya and just keeping some potential to survive the Morghulis, and of course I have initiative against Morghulis always, so I can't get the bigs surviving alone and then exposed to Ramsey because I go first to marshal new stuff. So yeah, that was the Bara game. Next up we have all of round 3 that was streamed, and then a Night's Watch game in one of the later rounds. Also, I'll show you. It was a really exciting one. So thank you for joining me, and see you next time.